Era number 3, the medical cannabis movement. The 2000s and the new millennium brought a renewed focus on the potential medical benefits of cannabis around the country, with many states legalizing medical cannabis use and setting up patient programs for state government regulations and tax collection. While Texas has been slow to adopt medical cannabis laws, the Compassionate Use Act of 2015 marked a significant milestone, allowing low THC cannabis for specific medical conditions. Now, here's where many people get confused about the Texas cannabis laws and the 3 points you need to know. Number 1, yes, we do have a medical cannabis patient program in Texas with 3 growers, 3 processors, and 3 dispensaries in the entire state that includes just over 30 million people. This was true in 2015, and it remains true in 2023. And these for the license and $100 for each site grown at, and grow hemp flower with nearly the same amount of Delta-9 THC content in it. That takes us to the second misunderstood fact about Texas cannabis laws. When they say low THC cannabis, they really mean it. At 0.05%, there is barely any noticeable THC in the plant, and actually probably not enough to serve as a medicine, and certainly not enough to cause any psychoactive effects or a high if that's what you were looking for. In comparison, legal hemp under the 2018 Farm Bill can have up to 0.03% Delta-9 THC. So Texas Compassionate Use Act is relatively a law that allows the use of hemp products which are already available to any citizen of the state of Texas. You can actually legally buy THCA in Texas CBD shops that when heated becomes Delta-9 THC and will be far more potent in every aspect than the Texas Compassionate Use cannabis. Curious about THCA? Watch our next video on THCA for more info on this compound and how it relates to THC. And the third misunderstood fact about the Compassionate Use Act of 2015 is that it initially allowed for the use of low THC cannabis oil or tinctures, but not smokable flower or concentrates, for the treatment of intractable epilepsy only. What is intractable epilepsy? Intractable epilepsy is diagnosed when someone has had years of uncontrolled seizures. This means medication no longer works well enough to control their episodes, and their seizures are frequent, severe, and affecting their quality of life. Just for data's sake, it's estimated that 1/3 of epilepsy patients have intractable epilepsy. So for some general numbers, in the United States, it's estimated that around 1% of the population have epilepsy. So with a population of around 29 million people in Texas as of 2015, this would translate to roughly 294,000 people with epilepsy. If 1/3 of those cases were intractable, the estimated number with intractable epilepsy in Texas would be around 96,000. Thus making medical cannabis available to only 96,000 of the nearly 29 million Texas residents with medical cannabis needs. This was a very limited step by Texas lawmakers to appear to be compassionate and gain political points, while not really moving the medical cannabis ball forward, as it did not include other medical conditions that are recognized in some other states with medical cannabis programs. The law was focused on providing an option for patients with intractable epilepsy who had not found relief with traditional treatments, a total of approximately 96,000 potential patients in Texas. Since the initial passage of the Compassionate Use Act in 2015, there have been efforts to expand the program to include additional conditions. Subsequent amendments have indeed broadened the list of qualifying conditions, but the original 2015 law was specific to intractable epilepsy. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who signed the Compassionate Use Act, said, "There is no credible evidence to suggest that legalizing marijuana would make it any less of a threat." This statement reflected the cautious, maybe uneducated approach Texas took toward medical cannabis in 2015. Notice, he still refers to it, even in a government statement, with a slang term, marijuana, versus using the scientific name for the plant, cannabis, showing the true fear of the power of the cannabis plant for medical use.